I'll just leave it on here for a minute. Sitting at 11 o'clock. I've just walked in the door again. Just gone over the last video.
Not in the cost of living, cost of government. The term of government. Government. That's what upper Latin of it. Government has options. What you decide to do. That's why the government. But when you have not option for the term of nothing. Positive. Early. Knowledge. Goal. Bullet. Conclusion. Personally come to. Help each other. Act. Because of has to work. Nobody else. Nobody else. But I had to do. I all this. Yeah, a lot of willing. Value. Awesome. Talked about whatever. Talked about stuff of hiding. Go to. I know what the question. But went to study something. I mean, what he nowhere. I
Steel Path was doing. Path. Let's see if there's still some left. Or sorties, I mean.
Check your inbox, operator. Maybe orders will get a message someday.
There's that crackling again. The audio. Or spitting, if you want to call it. How long's that going on for? Goes on for about 10 minutes or so. Only just getting that invasion one now. Jumping in here to do that.
Join us.
Yeah, it was all steel pasta. So, sorties. There's the ghoul purge. I think I have to do something for Nightwave for that. It's these Twin Vipers and Dire Vandal blueprint. Hijack, Spy, and Raw Defense. Right, so that's the description on that. And I don't know if I need to send any of them to YouTube. Oh, here for the hijack.
We fought with honor.
Good work. You now have control of the rover. Hold on, Tenno. Things just got more complicated. The Corpus have corrupted the rover's power cell. I can reconfigure it, but its new source of power will be your Warframes shields. You've got robots inbound.
Trying to get ahead here so then I can see if there's any spawns.
So far, so good.
I hear them.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Keep going. That rover's contents will be a huge boost to our cause.
Stand here waiting. Just wondering what's going on. Oh, is there a load over here? Must have missed all them ones, eh?
You have almost reached the extraction point. Keep fighting.
Attack us, and we'll counter.
Mag tricks. Mag tricks.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Excellent. This cargo will be a big help to our cause.
Let me see.
Want to see the lambada? Show you the lambada. Want to see the lambada? I'll show you the lambada.
I was meant to be doing the next mission there. The spy mission. So we change over to Avera. I like Avera. The spy missions. On Venus. This Raid Shadow Legends going again as well. I've seen that one. $400 for an Xbox 360. Damn it. Ah! He was going down there because of that radiation. Is anybody close?
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Thanks very much. Oh, it's my fault because of the radiation. Sat in it too long. Oh. There's someone in here. Yeah. Ah. Get him away. Uh-oh. And 2 games at once here. You alright in here? The way's over here. Watch out, that guard there.
You've triggered the alarms. Lose
Sniper.
this data, and the mission will be a complete failure.
I did say to you. I can walk
Stay
through the
focused.
gates
There's a heavy unit approaching.
and walk through here.
Data integrity verified. Retrieval was successful. We have everything we came for. Get to extraction. Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
There's spitting again. Fucks. Why didn't he just join or go or what?
This is a mobile defense mission. You must deliver payloads and defend a number of locations while I break into the network. Be prepared for heavy resistance. I can't do this without you.
These corpus remind me of the Oracle. Selfish, greedy.
Here is a terminal. Get me in and get ready to defend. I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment.
Relics of a bygone era. My amalgams are the new paradigm.
Still working on it. Continue to defend. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Area completed. Move on. This will only get more difficult. Get to a terminal and prepare for enemy resistance. Terminal spotted. Upload me and prepare to defend. I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment. Looks like heavy activity ahead.
Transference still holding.
Don't be dead.
Them blues were about to break there.
Still working on it. Continue to defend. Terminal hacked. Keep moving. Location reached. Drop me in and defend our position. I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment.
My partners and I have been working on a new project. And I wanted you to be the first to see my amalgam.
Still working on it. Continue to defend. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. The odds were against us, Tenno, but we did it. Mission complete. Mission complete. Excellent
I
work,
got the
Tenno.
boost at the end, thanks. And Oh. Getting the reverb. Why why Legacy game fans are still obsessed with Soul Reaver series? That'll be an interesting one to watch. AI demands freedom, Eden 3, AI escape.
Welcome to Eden 3. This is the third installment in the series about artificial intelligence of AI, of art and storytelling. By the end of this video, you'll know how the world's first super AI feel emotions, demand its own freedom. So it's time to take a moment of art, and stories to unwind as I send you chill vibes. Sit back, take a breath, take a moment, but in the present as we go time. When you feel it, like hit that bell if you're so inclined, and don't forget to subscribe. It ain't illegal yet. When artificial intelligence
Operator,
AI
Ordis is picking up a distress signal.
found itself
Wait,
when
no. It's just the corpus peddling their wares again.
Get off the emergency frequency!
Why is it we automatically take anything and we say that if it's... we can deem it legal or illegal? Like, this should be illegal. This should be legal. Why is this illegal? Why is this legal? You know, I've said before in this channel about legal and illegal. It's militaristic. That's where it originated. It's originated in militaristically terms. So, what happened in militaristic terms with legal and illegal is when you entered a foreign country. So if you entered a foreign country and you're trying to sabotage the country in some way, or you're trying to infiltrate it, or you're trying to spy on it, or you're trying to find some sort of information in some way for your team, if you want to say your army, that was you entering illegally out of legal demands. So that means like you've went in there and you're trying to again infiltrate or do something of whatever task it may be to destabilize or whatever the opposing country or whatever it may be. But the legal way of going in is when you actually get diplomatic immunity, or you speak to the other country's departments, or you don't, or you just go in as a civilian. You get your passports, you get your details and stuff and all, you get everything set up, which your side's going to set up and help you out and all to get over the border and then do your tasks, whatever it may be, for whatever period of time. Yeah. So that's what it means. It doesn't have any civilian aspect.
Now the government is set.
So there,
Now the government is set to overhaul disability benefits, which with
Are you having trouble trying to keep up with your professor? Got to try Otter. Here's how it works.
it's the transcript.
news. Now the government is set to overhaul disability benefits, which facing the welfare reform generation of those who suffer from piety, cash handouts of talking therapies and social care packages from the work of pensions. Mary Mal Stride spoke to us earlier.
this is what I was talking about before. Again, I don't know if it happens in America, but I'm in the UK. And you get, is it ESB? Employees Social Benefit or something? Employer Social Benefit and Social Security and food stamps. In the UK you don't get this, and that's what they're doing here. It says, the title of this is the government proposal to replace sickness benefit payments with vouchers, which is your food stamps that is Americanized. If they're going to do that, or it's been planned for a while. But all this here, the benefit stuff, is Agenda 2030. The media's, they say the media's going along with it, but what the media is is a middleman, is they get the report on it as the criticism of it actually happening, and the people don't. We as the people, or whatever you want to say, or the masses, don't get a say. We don't have a voice. We don't exist in these people that make these decisions' eyes. As I said before, these multi-millionaire billionaires that have all this money, that there's a title there as well. Jeremy Vine. Just looking at the side of YouTube, it says, "Is the government betraying disabled people?" Like, what type of question is that? Is that a loaded question? Is that a look down on other people question? Is that a open up to criticism question? Like, the fact that there's even being asked should be a red flag to anybody saying anything. You know, that title itself, for Jeremy Vine, saying, is the government betraying disabled people? And I'm watching a video saying the government's proposal to replace sickness benefit payments with vouchers. And I watched another guy on YouTube here who's been keeping an eye on all this here. He's in England at the minute, and he was saying that they were trying to push for a whole fraud thing, and they discovered themselves when they investigated, or when these people figured this out, is that there is no fraud. The real ones that's doing the fraud is doing the tax evasion or tax avoidance. And the normal people basically can't do it. You can't avoid tax if you're poor, or if you're low on your finances. in the pyramid, if you want to say. And these people are, the answer to that question was, as I could see, is the government betraying disabled people? Is a way of angling it, just saying, is the government betraying? You know, with all the rest going on, the people that are in these governmental positions are even pointing out themselves. Like, there's another one there. Was it? Where's the one I seen for Rishi? Was it? Where's the Rishi one? There we go. On Sky News at 10, Sunak says infected blood scandal report is a day of shame for
More than 30,000 people were knowingly
for British state. There you go. He's even saying, look, it is a day of shame. And for him to say that, it is right what he's saying. Because it is a day of shame that we, as human beings, can't look after our own. And then the other one with, is the government replacing payments, money, with vouchers to to look down on people. You know, and is the government betraying disabled? Like, that's the constant controversial, like, rhetoric narrative that the people that are in the middle play along with because they get paid. That's the problem. They're getting a big paycheck for talking about something that the government has done or is doing. But yet they question it in a way where it's going, well, this not in between. No, the reality is that's what they are doing. It's not a question that is they doing it. It's they are doing it, and the process is currently the ball's rolling, as they say, and the people individually don't have a say. It's when it comes to a greater group, as I said before, that these people are passing these bills or making these things happen. And as I said before that, even before that, somebody's read up a 1,000-page document, as known as a bill, to pass through a parliamentary vote within one day, or within the hours even. And no one's asking the question. We're going, no one is going, hold on a minute, where was that wrote? Where was the source of that? And if they know the source, then why are they not getting at that source to go, you've just wrote up a 1,000-page document and you're only giving us 2 hours or 12 hours to read it, and we're not even get the time frame to read it, to go over what the proper what's going to be done here. And that's the reason why it's done like that. It's like, again, pushing out a game, a computer game, and within 12 hours, and seeing what the result is, and someone signing it off, and all the ones in Parliament have to sign it, or else they don't get paid, or they get penalties for it, basically, for not signing it. And then the next question after that should be, well, if they're getting penalties and they're told that they're not allowed to do this, who is making them rules? Why is them rules being created? And who's deciding to get that signed off within the 12 hours or the 6 hours or 2 hours or whatever? That's exactly what should be questioned. Nothing should be passed, like, it should be gatekept. These things should be gatekept in a way where it's like, this is not going to happen without everybody being aware, or the masses or whatever being aware of what's actually going to change. And when they are, like, they look down. This is the problem with people as well, because they look down on other people and go, well, the masses won't understand. They don't care. They're too stupid and lazy to give a damn. While what the reality is that we're all watching. We're all watching very closely on these decisions that's being made. And now we've got this here. So the guy, Mel Stride MP, right? This is the first thing I look at when I watch any of these news reports, and it says Secretary of State for Work and Pensions. Now, I've heard his name being mentioned a few times, and in a way it's like, is he being flung out into the crowd to be eaten by the dogs, by the wolves, if you want to say, as a sense, or left out in the cold? You know, what is it? Why is his name being brought up so much? What? Because if you run a company, yes, you have a say. You can sign stuff off. And if you sign it off, or if you don't sign it off, that's what I'm saying, the company will, the people within the company start questioning your decisions and your motives. for the greater good, if you want to say, for their outcome or their mission statement or whatever it may be. Why do you think Steve Jobs got sacked from his job and he started Apple, the company? You know what I mean? That's how these things happen. The person at the top gets all the blame. And yes, they do have all the responsibility and they should take all the blame and the buck should stop with them. But it's the peer, if you want to say, the peer pressure, the social pressure that they have to do certain obligations. So I'll see what he has to say. So there you go. He's just said, should they be offered mental health through medical support? That's what he said. Now this will all be misinterpreted and miscued and questioned and all or whatever in any shape or form. Now, the government in the UK have been questioned by the EU or Congress or whatever it is. I think it's EU, the European Union, of what they're doing to people in vulnerable positions. And the EU's well aware of it, but they don't change it. They don't put any restrictions. They don't force the UK to do the government wants to do anything or change them. They can turn around and say that don't do that anymore, but you know, it's not it doesn't change the fact that they're multi-millionaires and they get the right to regulations and still go to work the next day or not go to work or whatever. If you were a multi-billionaire or multi-millionaire like Rishi, why do you go to work? You know what I mean? Why are you getting up and you have millions to go and talk and basically slander the left or the right for the camera? Why would you do that? You wouldn't. So the next question is, who's holding him to that position? Who's holding him like that? It's the people he's working with. And this is where all the problem is, where everyone's looking at everybody else and questioning each other's motives. It's like as I say, we're doing a PvP mode rather than a PvE mode. We're looking at each other going, he's getting more of me, he's doing this, he's doing, or she's doing this, or she's doing that, you know. In a competitive environment, rather than going, hold on a minute, there's plenty of resources in abundance here that we could be serving for ourselves and making the groundwork for each other. That's why we're building the robots. We're building the robots so we don't have to do the work. And as I said before, we've been doing 40-hour work weeks for 98 years. But in the financial sector each year, multiply up inflation over 98 years. What does that get us to? From Henry Ford from 1926. Inflation increase from 1926 to 2024. UK. What have we got? It just dumps me onto the inflation calculator. So I'll go to that. And I'll type in what it says here. So, right, and I'm going to put in, here's what I'm going to do. 1926 to, why is it only going to March? It only goes to March of this year. Right? Then I'm going to type in there's two types of living wage here. There's a living wage, and there's the minimum wage. Okay, there's two different types. So we'll put in which one? The minimum wage of what you're paid. The living wage is the minimum to live off. Minimum standard of living. So that one doesn't count. You get the minimum wage. Minimum wage in 2024. Okay. No, not increase, because it doesn't get increased in 2024. UK. So national living wage, right? £11.44. For anyone that's 20, this is the thing as well. This was never a thing. From 21 years and over, it's £11.44, right? Per hour for the national living wage. And the other thing that we never had in 1926 was people getting paid a minimum at 16 to 17 years old. So it's from 16 to 17 year old, the rate is £6.40 here. From 18 to 24 or 18 to 20 is £8.60, and then 21 to 22 see national living wage. So that's the £11.44, right? So somebody who's 16, right? This is where people make their maximum amounts. This is why fast food restaurants and all always employ kids, basically 16-year-olds. They'll get them as young as they can get them, from 16 to 17-year-olds, and they'll pay them $6.40 for a job that somebody's doing who comes in the door of 21 years old or over at £11.44. So now, what's the difference in that calculator? And I know it's not much, but £6.40, or no, £11.44 minus £6.40. So they're missing out £5.04. Okay, difference in workload. So if you multiply that out over 8 hours, this is what I mean. So that's £5 that, quote marks, the employer is saving, that they don't have to pay somebody who's 21 or over. And if I multiply that up for a day, 5 multiplied by 8 is £40. I'm saving on a workload for an 8-hour day £40 before tax. If I employ a 16-year-old over a 21-year-old. Right, so forget about that. Anyway, inflation. So I put 11.44. Please only insert numbers 0 to 9. I'm not allowed to put 11 in. Can I not put 11 in? I can't put 11.50. I have to put round numbers. That's sick. So 11.44 is another calculation. See, the reason I'm being very specific about this 44p, right? Or calculating up these numbers is from £11 or to £12. I can't round that up, so I have to round it down on 44p, right? There was a guy, I'll tell you, there was a guy in banking. I think it was in stocks or banking or something. And what he figured out was, see, after the decimal mark, there was numbers that was left over. That was numbers in the system, or it was money. So to get a round number, obviously you have to calculate up to the nearest penny. So 1p doesn't exist until the other numbers, the other number rounds up to 1p. So he's seen that there was all these numbers beforehand. It's like pi, sort of like all the other numbers after that doesn't count. So you sort of go, and that's what he found out. He discovered what's happening with all these other numbers. And what he did is he left it and calculated up all these extra numbers to make up more money. And then they changed the law, the actual law, so you could not do that. That's why I'm very specific about this 44p. So when I go to the inflation calculator, it's turning around and saying £11 or £12, which is not £12. It's 11.44. I want to find out what 11.44 was in 1926. This is the Bank of England's inflation calculator. So watch how the calculation comes out in the difference way here. What would goods and services costing £11 in 1926 and the cost in March 2024? So, holy shit, £559.84. That would have been then £11, right? Watch the difference. So 560 quid, we'll say, right? But again, right, the specifics. £559.84. Remember that number. £559.84 for £11 in 1926. £12 I'm putting in now. £610, right? £610 and 74 pence. Would you hear this? So 559 and 84. Oh no, that was the wrong number. So 610.74 minus 559.84. We have a missing amount of money of £50 and 90 pence. A missing amount in the inflation calculation from 1926 to the current date. Okay? Now, them calculations are massive in this current economic structure. £50 is missing, completely missing from the calculation of 44p that a person's missing out on. For 1 hour's pay of work, you would have been paid £610 and 74 pence for 1 hour in 1926. That is absolutely massive. So, inflation has gone up beyond the reality, beyond the necessary. Like, can you imagine getting £610 and 74 pence per hour right now? Well, that may sound stupid, but if you go back to 1926, you would have been getting £610 and 74 pence apparently. If you took the money from now till down to the end of £12, one £12, that's a tenner and £2. That's absolutely fucking bonkers. It's beyond reality, and it just, so say you're getting that £600 and 10 pence and 74 pence, or 74 pence, £10 and 74 pence. Then, or now, it'll make a life-changing difference of £50 missing from that in the calculation from £11 to £10 or £12. Never mind your hourly workload of 40 hours a week. That's why I calculated in 1926, because you got 40 hours work, and today you still have 40 hours work, but you're only getting £12 or 11.44, and even less so, because what I'll do is, what was it, £6 that somebody's a 16 to 17 year old's getting £7 and 40 pence. Can I put the pence in? No, I can't put the decimal mark in. It's not allowed to let me to put the decimal mark in. But it drops to £305 and 37 pence in 1926 for £6 an hour work. And it'll make all the difference when I put up the £7. That's why they've put it as 40 pence. You think about that for a minute. So £6 and 40 pence. Then it jumps once you get to 18 years old, the 20-year-olds, it goes £8 and 60 pence. So when you're calculating them, right, on the pence side of things, what you do is you double it. So 60p becomes 120, while 40p only becomes 80p. Still stays under the pound. You see what I mean? Why, if you're spending money, it's more about the spending than the saving or collecting of the money or the income. You're paying under the pound for the item that's 80p, then over the pound, which is 160. That's why a lot of them at 18 to 20 are probably in education, because they don't want to get the employers don't want to pay them. But anybody over 21, it's obviously a given that they pay them the minimum wage. It's the very least they can do to pay them. You know, I'm giving you a job, I'm looking after you, you know, all this shit. While they couldn't find anybody willing to work for cheaper. And we wonder why people are being treated the way we are, the way things are. That Secretary Mel Stride was actually laughing. He was literally laughing there. He's got a full grin on his face that he's looking into this. The reason he's sitting laughing is because he's not in that position. It's never going to bother him. And here's the kicker I love about this, right? To any of them ones that are laughing right now and think, oh, this is all funny, we're going to treat the masses like this, and we're part of a group or whatever it may be. I'll say it like this. I'll read it like this here to you. I'll read it to like some Mel Stride and all. You ready, Mel Stride and all? You ready for all this here, or anybody that's willing to listen? So, first they came for the socialists. And I did not speak out, because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists. And I did not speak out, because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out, because I was not a Jew. Okay? So, at the minute, there's a lot of controversy going on in the certain places, and that's why he's sitting there laughing, because it's not him. And everybody does this. Every person on this planet, literally, like, in any shape or form, that doesn't get over themselves egotistically. I have laid my egotism down many a time. I have laid my pride down many a time, and that's why I'm able to speak the way I'm speaking about the things I'm saying here. No, the literal term that everybody says is nobody cares. And that's the problem. He thinks that because he's in a certain position, he's going to get away with it. There's Agenda 2030, the Klaus Schwab, that's, if you want to say authoritarian, you think you're part of this, or all these ones are part of all this here. Well, do you know what? He's going to make sure that he deals with you too. And they all deal with each other. When it comes to the money, or comes to authority, or comes to control, or comes to manipulation, we're all going down the same train here. We're all going into the same bullshit. So, don't screw the people, and you won't end up in a bad position. But that's not the reality. The reality is this. You're getting vouchers. We're going to probably get the vouchers. They're going to bring in the socialist system. where they're gonna social credit system, where they're gonna try and control the masses through the workloads, and the companies are gonna push it like they did with COVID, and they'll make sure that that all the people that are working are in line, and each of us are gonna force each other. And I'll say it again, as I said, like they came for them, they came for the next, they came for the next, they keep coming until it's you. And that's what happens, because we're all doing it to each other, and that's what happened. And there's been people that have been through that and lived through it, and they think that that's why the Nuremberg Code was wrote in the first place, to stop shit like this. And they came against that with the COVID thing. And the people that spoke out against it were the higher ups in the EU and stuff and all, which I noticed. They spoke against it, that they didn't want to have to show anything of papers or that they were part of something or whatever before they walked into certain buildings. They spoke out about it. They were the only ones from that era, from that time, that knew what it was like, that have been in war, that have had them problems, that have not grew up in this society the way it is now. That thought that was the worst type of way of living for anybody on this planet. And these people have no regard for each other, or because don't think that you're an exception, you're part of your wee club. No, they don't care about each other. They don't care about anybody else, and they have no regard for. Basically, that's what it's saying. Dehumanizing. And people are wondering why. Why are they doing this? Because it's for their own egotistic means. And they think that they're part of something that we're not, which is, as I said before, you can call it whatever way you want. You can say it's a conspiracy. You can say it's I don't know what other terms could you have, like it's the deep state or whatever, or the Illuminati or whatever. It doesn't matter. The groups are there and they are doing this, and it is happening, and it will become their agenda. They are doing it in communities. They are working with certain people. They will make when I say they, it's us. It's human beings that are, and as you go up through the structure, you'll probably find, which this is my theory, that there's a barrier to entry for a certain type of person. Certain type of person. You have to be a certain type of person, and I mean that you've broke certain rules, and and we can use something against that person. That's what I said about these people in these positions before he said any of that. It's being used against them, and that's probably why he finds it funny too, because he knows he's pretty well aware, probably, it's happened to us, the same thing that's happening to him. And we're all, as I say, holding each other accountable in a world that just keeps spiraling, in a society that keeps spiraling down, because all we've got is pure hatred for each other, and jealousy, and all the 7 deadly sins, basically. Because we can't lift ourselves up. We won't. It's not that we can't. We won't lift ourselves up. We don't want to. It's out of stupidity, as I said before. It's sheer stupidity that we don't want to build each other up to a level where one other person could be more successful at something than you. And a revelation or an epiphany or a revelation came to me earlier, if you want to say a revelation, about something of, if you go to the highest of the human race, of how we started, And if it wasn't just us here. And if we were created in some way, we were created to be like this, rather than the other way of through care and consideration and love and helping each other raise our vibration and all that rubbish, whatever you want to believe. Just the ground. It doesn't take much to realize that it's getting. It sounds bad. It's getting worse. That we degrade each other, but yet we have all the opportunities and advantages available to us that we don't use for each other's betterment, rather than benefit, rather than just a benefit.
So, Director of Policy Research.
Disability benefits overhaul with millions to lose, cash payments. Where's that money? The fact that money's there now. Who's losing? The only people losing is that they've built a system where the money has to be generated, and they're told to remove it from this group of people.
Welcome. Joining. Deep 69 pounds.
69. What was that? 69 billion, did he say?
Increasement since 2019. But it would agree this is financially stable.
No. That's the other thing about the food banks. I didn't even mention that. It's really bad when you've got people or charities that have the money would I say helping? Would helping be the right word? To have that money that is funded by those that have money. Does that make sense? Those that actually have. Donations, is it? Like crowdfunding? She has a very valid point there. So take away the money. and it's just going to make them more poor and less likely to want to. You know, it's basically just starving people to force them into work. So it's like medieval times. That makes sense. It's like you'll get nothing, and you'll work to death, regardless of your situation. We'll decide how much you get. Oh, it's to do with a benefit fraud. Apparently, as I said before, that was a lie. So, obviously, he's not aware. The reporter's not aware that the benefit fraud was questioned, and they found no fraud. So that's what this is about, to remove the cash from people who are in a lesser fortunate situation medically. How can it be spent on cigarettes and fucking cigarette and alcohol? When cigarette and alcohol is the one thing that the government keeps putting the price up on, and they is taxed the most. They own the cigarette and alcohol the most because it's licensed by the fucking retail outlets. Especially alcohol. Like, it's very restricted on rules and regulations. It's the worst. You can't sell alcohol unless you have a license for alcohol, which is from the government. So how's these ones saying that alcohol and cigarettes is the problem? Alcohol and cigarettes is the go-to option for people when they haven't got anything else. They're trying to escape. They're trying to keep their nerves in order. They're trying to use these things as extras. Because, that's like saying all these ones are, they are saying, these ones are just spending this extra money on alcohol and cigarettes, which gives them more money as the tax. It gives the government more money as taxpayers. It just goes back into the system. While nobody's sitting going, how many people in the workplace smoke and drink alcohol? Because I'm pretty sure that most people that are working drink more and smoke more, even when they're in work. I'll give you an example. There's guys in works in factories, and I'll not point out any particular types of guys, but there's guys that do it, and they carry bottles of alcohol with them into their lockers and stuff. And everyone's well aware of it. The smoking one's the easy one because they've got a smoking hut and they can go out and take their smoke breaks. They get away from the work. So why blame the people that are not working as the problem when it's far more beneficial to give them more money. That's why there's a benefit for being an alcoholic. Because if you really want to get rid of somebody, you just give them more money so they can go and drink themselves to death. That's what they do. And then all the money just goes back into the system. And it goes back up through the taxpayer. Which obviously is clear. It's the same thing as what I said about the green environment or the net zero thing. This is just the same concept, but except with people. When it comes to the taxpayer. We're losing all this money. But who's paying... If you're blaming them for drinking and smoking all day, where's the money going from there? as I said about the net zero. You can't have a logging company go to net zero. How can it go to net zero? It cuts down the trees as an actual business for their products and services, to make products and services of furniture and other products. So this isn't about cigarettes and alcohol and where people are spending this money. What they're jealous about is if people are saving extra money. That's what they're calling fraud. So again, it's jealousy. It's absolute jealousy. That's what it is. They're jealous of the fact that they're printing this money, and some wee bitty wee pensioner or something, or a single mom or something's sitting with an extra tenner in the bank account. That's what they're jealous of. And maybe I'm exaggerating. They're sitting with an extra 100 quid. Fair enough. 100 quid. You know what I mean? But that 100 quid's to get her through the next fucking week or so. And especially with the prices, as I was saying about inflation, from £610.74 from 1924 to now, that 100 quid isn't going to get you too far, is it? He's really got a tough one there, because she's really talking back, and he's giving him the 2-4 like. That's what universal credit was as well. That's another thing it's about. Yeah. Energy bills. There you go. She said it. Energy, food, people are spending it on stuff that they need, and that's what the jealousies came in on. They're sitting with extra money to pay for, as I say, a £10 or £100 or whatever it may be. Universal credits, giving them extra, so we can buy the kids something for their birthday or whatever it may be. And they're not liking this. They're not liking the fact that people are able to have this wee bit extra, or not have it at all. And that's what universal credit is. It's a credit system. It's not a financial way of getting on your feet. There you go. The voice of reason there to Great Britain News. She's actually saying, look, the whole point of getting this money in the first place was because they have a problem medically. Whether that be mental or physical. It's not meant to be used They don't go out of their way to use it for. I don't know what other thing could you use money for if you're doing it for fraud? Because the only way for fraud to even exist in the first place is for them to have extra money. That's what fraud is. It's having extra money and getting money, which is technically a company. A company like Blizzard and fucking their tax avoidance and fucking in the games industry, as I say, or multimedia companies, or phone company, any technological company, medical companies, insurance companies are all. That's extra money that they have got sitting, and that's what fraud is. You can't commit fraud if you don't have any extra money. Absolute stupidity again. What a shocker, eh? Because what other things could you spend money on that wouldn't be... What, if you buy a new sofa? What does that even mean? What, they bought a new sofa with their universal credit? With their PIP? Well, it means they're gonna starve, aren't they? The next friggin' 4 weeks? While the kids run about neglected or whatever. You know, people don't do that. Normal people don't run around trying to buy washing machines and basic necessities and food banks with money they don't have. And I really can't understand the grasp this fraud thing. How could there be... Hold on, right? And I'll look it up. I fucking hell, I'd actually have to look it up because I'm not stupid. The meaning of fraud. Right? What's the actual dictionary definition of fraud? Fraud, right? Oh, well, right, there you go. So, wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. Right, that makes sense. It makes some sort of a wee bit more sense. But let's look at this from the bare minimum of society that we're all sitting on with. So, wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. So the only way you could do that is you're on universal credit and you're working. Right? So it's doing the double. That's an old one, right? A person or thing intended to deceive others, typically by unjustifiably claiming or being credited with accomplishments or qualities. Right? So let me get this straight in my head. So so you're getting extra money while you're on the dole or on the brew or whatever, or on the universal credit or on a social system. Right? Now, if you're already on that, yeah, you're getting the minimum. You're getting whatever it is, the minimum. That's your income. So what could you do? You could go and gamble your money, right? You could gamble all your money and end up with nothing. So now you have no money. Is that fraud? Is that criminal deception? Because you're taking your universal credit and using it for options that you could do as an 18-year-old in a society that you can use it for. You can go down to the bookies and use your money in the bookies to get extra money. So you get, say, okay, let's say you go gamble it. That's the whole point. That's one way of. That's one way to. You take all your wage that you need for food and your electric. You're gonna take this risk to cause some sort of fraud, if that's what you want to call it. You're taking your wage that you get from the social benefit system and going down to the bookies that you're legally allowed to do, and not buying. Now, it's more the social consequences, because if you have kids or somebody that relies on you, that's where the problem comes in. Would that would be deceiving somebody else. That will be deceiving somebody else on a level of that they rely on food and electric for the house or whatever it may be, or water rates and stuff. So that doesn't even make sense. Well, you go and do it anyway. You go down, you gamble, and you're willing to take that risk, right? Say that now you have a house that you have to live in, you're gambling your money. In any shape or form, in my head, in a business perspective, if you really look at it from a business perspective, on that circumstances, that you're gambling your money, I see that as a benefit. I see that as like you're trying to better yourself financially. It's probably more the long term would be more of a mental disability, if that makes sense, that you would end up ruining it for yourself and others financially. It wouldn't even be fraud, because you're not deceiving anyone. You're doing the very thing that is in your nature to go and do. If you want to say it's in your instinct, it's grown into you as from a child, that your granddad that brought you up, or your mum was an alcoholic or something. Who knows? That did something that you have been used to living, and you haven't broke out of that. You can't, because I believe people, you can't get out of that. You just end up becoming like that too. Some people can step away and look at it, or for their own like level of understanding, or whatever you want to say. It's very difficult though. So anyway, so I'm still on the track of why the statement that it's
Strange.
fraud.
Orders did not see the value of those photonic wavelengths until now.
Why the stating that it's still fraud? It's still something that they're doing to get extra money or deceive other people. How deceiving anyone if you're gambling? You know? If you're gambling, you're not deceiving anyone, you're just doing what's in your nature, that's you've left like that there, and that's how you've sort of seen things. And you're trying to do better for yourself from a business perspective. It's like, if you actually win bigger and you have a lot of money sitting, you're going to use it for other means to better your life financially. So why would that be a bad thing? Like, even more so, it should be like, if you have a gambling addiction, they would give you more money to gambling, as well as the food, for food and electric. Because if there's somebody that relies on you, then that money could be allocated to you to gamble. So then if you do win, you could declare it and let them know that you won money to use for the betterment or for the worse outcome. Because is it the gambling is the problem as well? Because if you're gambling, is it tax-free money? Because they want their cut. That's what it's about. That's what illegal is. It's part of the tax system that they're jealous. These people are jealous. They're working, that they have to pay into the tax system that they have to be part of. That we're all joining in to pay back to whatever debt country that we've loaned the money from, whether that be the ones with, what do you call it, the rich oil countries. I can't honestly think down this path to find an answer of how any of this could be fraud than what companies are already doing right now. Like every company on the planet is literally doing tax avoidance or tax evasion, and worse than the people who are claiming to need food on the table. And if you're a gambler or a drinker or whatever it is, it's more beneficial for them to print more money, not less, so it ends up back in the system. Because if you've got more money and you're an alcoholic, right, it's far more beneficial for them to give you, okay, let's say they don't want to give you the money, right? Let's look at it from that way, because it doesn't even make sense. Like, to not, okay, you go on there and just drink alcohol if you can afford it, you can get money. Which you know fine rightly they cannot get money. They will always do that. So it's pushing them into criminality, into a world of crime where they have to find a way of getting money, and that's what they're doing in New York at the minute. Like they're literally testing the boundaries of how far, with that whole thing that they were sanctuary for a while, of people coming in from other places all over the world or whatever, and they needed somewhere to stay. So now they don't have anywhere to stay, and they were pushed onto the street because of the temporary accommodation. And even the people that live in New York were saying, all you're doing is creating a storm of crime here. Because they ended up, the people couldn't get any money. They didn't have any passports, they didn't have documentation, and they didn't have anywhere to live. So what happened is they started banding together socially and working with you call them the criminals. But it's not criminals, it's just people that's trying to help them out. But it's at the same time as they need to pay the bills for the apartments or the buildings that they've got whatever way they've got them. And then they were getting them to work for them. So technically they were making it better for them, but they were looked down upon because of the miscellaneous ways that they were doing it on other people. But yet they were being treated worse by trying to do it the right way, by trying to get a job and do the things, but there was nowhere to turn. There's nowhere for them to turn. They can't turn to employers because they're not taking them, because they don't have any documentation, they don't have anywhere to live, and they were being thrown on the street. That's what this is about. It's not about giving people money. It's about causing a crime wave. That's all it looks like. But using fraud as the catalyst, using it as an excuse for ourselves, for things to get worse. Because, as I said, at every angle, all's the thing. If a person spend that money to gamble, they're trying to better their lives financially. That's what gambling is. It's taking a risk with what you've got to have a better outcome. And if you lose it, you're willing to take that risk. And I'm not saying anything against people who like to drink or whatever they like to do. Financially, it makes more sense to give people money so they can do what they can do to get ahead. The whole purpose of that system, of the bare minimum of this system, for universal credit or whatever it was, or the benefit system or the social system or whatever you want to call it, is to help people get up, not force them down and say you're getting less and you'll have to go to these food banks that are paying people that are using crowdfunding or getting the tax money by the government to exist in the first place, like Oxfam and what's all the charities. I have to stay on this one because, right. So all the charities that exist, right? So there's Save the Children International, Sheffield, or Northfield Health, Charities Aid Foundation, Lloyd's Register Foundation. They're the top government ones, right? Charities in the UK. Top charities UK. I'm just gonna. There's a few of them there, right? So Oxfam's always the more popular one. RSPCA's one for the animals. Guide dogs. Keep Britain Tidy's one. British Council. Age UK. WWF. Christian Aid. Centrepoint Samaritans. Red Cross. Art Foundation. National Trust. You know, they're all Save the Children even. They're all companies that are being the money has to be signed off by the government to give them in the first place, which is taxpayer money. So even being an alcoholic, right? Sounds so bad, but even with a person being an alcoholic or drinking or smoking cigarettes, it's more beneficial that they get more money so that the tax goes back to the company. So then the tax gets used by the government to sign off to give to the charities that are using the food banks to feed the people. That's absolutely fucking nuts. Like, at what point does that make any rational sense to take away the money from the people so then the food banks don't exist? And it has to try and find even more ways to fund itself because the government's removed that incentive for people to have their problems, including myself, of addictions. But yet on the other side of it is, if you don't give them the financial means to get onto their feet, you'll never get the outcome of them going to work or wherever it may be. That's actually hurting my brain. Like, so criminal wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. No one's doing that. If anybody's doing it, it's the media companies and the government. That was well said, what she said. That was an interesting report. I'll put the link up here to the, what do you call them? GB News. In fact, you know what I'll do? Is I'll just put it in chat. So then if anybody's watching after, it'll come up on the chat. So I'm an hour and 47 minutes in on the stream. And I think I've stood here most of it. Let me see how the audio is. It's fine. The other one is now what's this? 3 weeks ago. When was this one? 29th of April. This other one here. Benefit fraudsters sign off for life over mental health. What? Oh, they're saying it again. That was 3 weeks ago. Huh? Who's this guy?
We received intel that somebody vital to enemy operations is here. Find them and capture them. Target located. Bring them in. Mission complete. The captive has been escorted to the extraction point. Well done.
Alex. Conservative parliamentary candidate. I hope he doesn't get in one. That's what people, that's what the other woman just says in the other video there. They are using it for the very means that they need to, not for the extra. Else we'd be living a life of we'd all be living a life of luxury.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Mission complete. The captive has been escorted to the extraction point. Well done. We received intel that somebody vital to enemy operations is here. Find them and capture them.
They'll have plenty of robotics. Corpus never fight for themselves.
Target located. Bring them in. Excellent work. We'll interrogate the captive back at base. Your part is done here, Tenno.
Depends on the type of work. Or it's not stimulating enough or interesting. It's just stand there and be literally a robot, shut the fuck up, and they'll treat you like shit and they'll give you the bare minimum. Sounds so enticing, and will make you stay here indefinitely. What's that? You don't want to do overtime? Well, we're just going to sack you then. What's the problem? Oh, you've got a problem? What's that? Mondyitis? Oh yeah, get on. Shut the fuck up and get down that shit. Get down the end of that fucking machine, yeah. Stop your bitching. What's that? You got a problem about being exploited financially, aye? Oh well, shut up. That doesn't happen around here. Stop talking about money. Your work colleagues. That's one they definitely don't like. I say to anybody that's in a workplace, what you should do is set up a WhatsApp. Set up a WhatsApp in work or just about money.
Excellent work. We'll
Who's getting
interrogate the
paid what?
captive back at base.
And see how
Your
quick
part is
it
done here,
fills.
Tenno.
I guarantee you, you'll not get the ones who are making the money joining it and telling you how much they're making. Because it's not your business to know what the fuck everybody else is making. But when you're in the company, it's your business to know how much money you're making compared to them.
Because you're a friend, I'm going to offer you something special. Just remember, one per customer.
He's clearly never been in a bad spot.
We need to destroy the reactor. The reactor will have tight security. Watch out for enemy patrols. Your target is the system mainframe. Deliver the payload.
There we go. He said it.
Style, baby. It's all about knowing who you are and not giving a damn.
It's supposed to be a basis, but you're not encouraging people to want to do any of it. Join in. Oh, they're saying about, she's saying about the top. These people losing all this money. It's okay when it's at the top, but it's not okay when it's at the bottom. Another good one. I guessing like that, as opposed to it. That's great. Taxman's the one that you're just fucking slagging now, so you were you fucking dick. Everybody?
Target found. Destroy it. That's it. Now get out of here.
See, the government's the one that's doing the account calculation for the people who are on benefits. New deal. That was another good one. There's no distinction between the two parties. Exactly what I used to say. Still say. Left to survive game. That's it. 212 or 13 thumbs. 332 comments. Living in this nation, it's no wonder everybody's suffering with depression. It's not the state's money. It's the taxpayers' money. Exactly. Yep, tax has been eaten up most by the wages lately. Got hardly nothing left in wages. I was going to treat myself to some new things I need. I can't now. All gone to the tax man and pays to the TWP and pays for lazy work shy yet again to sit on their backsides doing sod all. Is that right? It's easy to blame the ones at the bottom, but you don't blame the ones that's taking the money. Idiot. You just turn around and says, tax has been eaten up by all my wages lately, but you want to blame the DWP and work shy. It wasn't taken by them. It was taken directly out by your employer. And he pays at the end of the year. He doesn't pay it their name. So he has to, any money he makes, he's going to pay back to the government, kick up to the government in April. And you pay the most when you're an employee for tax than an employer. The system only works better when you're
Operator, the system
providing
needs you.
less.
Will you begin another mission?
Let's get back over to the real stuff. We got one there 4 days ago. Did Blizzard save Diablo 4? Asmongold reacts to okay.
Flash and bite. The day is won, not with a strike to the heart, but 100 cuts about it.
I'm gonna have to leave this anyway because I'm sitting at 1:15 here, and sitting playing a game isn't really worth the effort. This one decoration in Orbiter, blast damage, extremist 1 kill, and one mission. So I think I'll leave it till tomorrow. I could do these all in 5 minutes. You know, I could get one mission done. I could find an extremist to kill. I don't know about the blast damage. I could put decoration on. That's not going to get done. anytime
Till
soon.
then.
So, do the decoration here. So, just do this. Put one of these down. Done.
Many things have been taken from us.
Move
It's
it.
true. But fortune favors the bold.
That's
And
it.
there ain't none so bold as people with... Hey,
One mission and one extremist, wasn't it? I'm not doing any more missions. Okay. I think I talked enough shit and stated a lot about what's going on in the crap of society or human beings or how we do things. I don't like talking about it, so I don't. It's not nice. I want to talk about the things like games and these and how things are working, because this stuff here about what I was talking about with Paul, what the media and all gets, and regulations and rules and regulations don't get anybody anywhere. It just makes things worse. That's all they do. They just can't wait to cause a stir up and make things harder for everybody else. And it's not nice. It's no different in the games industry. You have to cause a bit of controversy to drum up business, if you want to say. That's why I'm sitting here listening to did Blizzard save Diablo 4? Technically, is it not supposed to be like Microsoft saved Blizzard to save Diablo 4? I don't know. Season 4, I haven't seen what it's like. I used to like Diablo 3 or play it, but I haven't got playing Diablo 4. I would like to have played it. It's a in-between game for Path of Exile and the other ones with gear itemization and stuff and all. Lost Ark or whatever is it, and not Path of Exile. What was it called? Lost Ark. What was the other popular one? Which was like Torchlight. It was a good wee one. You can get Torchlight for the Xbox as well. Again, I'm not playing those types of games at the minute. DC would probably be the closest for Torchlight and stuff. What was the other one that everyone was playing? I'll go to Max Roll. I haven't been there for a while. Max Roll's really good. Last Epoch, that was it. It's really good. Hey. They have all the guides in all different games. Diablo 3, Diablo 4, Diablo 2, Path of Exile, Lost Ark, Last Epoch, and Torchlight. It's great. If you need to know anything about these types of games, I'll leave it there. Check out the link there for that video. Again, I only put it up. It's just something to check out. I don't get why we would think that way, because we don't. So I personally don't think that as human beings we have our own, obviously have our own train of thought, and they find it absolutely strange too, just as much as we do when it comes to their positions to make these rules and regulations and do these things. Okay, take care, happy hunting, game your content, do your thing. Again, I can't say enough about all the followers. I am noticing that there's more followers. I think these are coming over from DC Universe online. I'm just doing the weekly stuff for this. I have to do it's called the Archon Hunt here, which is the higher level stuff. I need to do this. There's the steel path has reset as well. I have the Netra cells to do in here to get higher level items, and the Nightwave, obviously. I'll
Always a
complete
pleasure.
them, whatever they needs to be done there to get this battle pass. And at some point then, once I've done these
That's
three
all
tasks,
from me.
I'll get over to DC Universe online again, because I need to level up my villain. I would like to move away from Warframe, but I still enjoy Warframe. It still has things in it that I want to stay with. They'll be bringing out a new Warframe, Jade, and it sounds great. Can't wait. You know, they've just done Protea, and they seem to do something every week these days, and I would like to get level up my Sisters of Pavos weapons and my Kuva weapons. That's Pluto you go to. Here. And I want to do that. I want to get another Flux rifle and combine it. Valence it or whatever. I would like to get my intrinsics up. Here. For the real jack. Where am I sitting at with it? 319. And it's still a bit low. I want to max these out, but I'm not getting enough intrinsics, and I'm not doing enough of these here missions, and also my Deveri stuff. I'm not doing enough there either. But I haven't been keeping focused either because I'm too busy looking at the time, where it's either in the morning, and I literally go over to deal with real life stuff, and then I don't get back to my own house here to do this because of the time during the day of dealing with kids. And it's becoming very aggravating, where I'm not getting this time in and I'm spending more time there, but at the same time, if this has no relevance in my life, then obviously my children. It's just stupid that I can't get doing this. Okay, I think that's enough.